half of the day would take me from Tehatchapi to the Mojave Air and Spaceport facility in Mojave, California. Then for a few blocks on the famous Route 66 in Barstow, California, then through the desert community of the Lucerne Valley, 29 Palms, and finally Hidden Valley and Joshua Tree National Park. With all the rainfall in the California deserts, the countryside was green with grass and the flowers were blooming. "29 Palms, California, home of the Marine Corps Air-Ground Combat Center. When I would visit there in my capacity as an Alcee Loadmaster, we would call it 29 Stumps. Here we are on the east end of the Joshua Tree National Park. We're just a few miles from Jumbo Rocks. That's where we're heading next. Just wanted to get a panoramic view of the road and the area I'm at right now. This was the Hidden Valley Campground Day Use Center. It was spring break and it was a Friday, so that's why it was probably so busy. But the park is a very popular one. South entrance of the park, looking east towards the Salton Sea, San Bernardino Mountains, flowers in bloom, beautiful. After spending several hours at Joshua Tree, I finally had to leave and head for Arizona. I didn't want to go through Phoenix, so I routed through Gila Bend and then on to Tucson and finally the Texas Canyon Rest Stop. I made a stop under the I-10 bridge over the Colorado River that brought back memories. Almost 40 years ago, on a family vacation in the month of July, I had to stop and dunk my wife in the river to prevent a case of heat stroke. In those days, air conditioning wasn't standard on cars and trucks. I took this shot in Gila Bend. It was almost dark and I had almost 200 more miles to go. I finally made it to the Texas Canyon Rest Stop about 11:15 p.m. It had been a long day. After a restless night in the truck, I awoke to a beautiful sunrise with the sun bringing out the colors of the surrounding rocks. This day would take me to Las Cruces, New Mexico, El Paso, and then Alpine, Texas, where I would have to spend the night before entering Big Bend the next day. When going through Las Cruces, I always make it a point to stop at the Roadrunner rest stop just west of town. This sculpture is made from tennis shoes and recycled car parts. When traveling through El Paso, you can avoid downtown by taking the Trans Mountain Drive bypass. It passes through Fort Bliss and gives some great vistas at the top of the mountain. Traveling down Texas Highway 90 just outside the small hamlet of Valentine, you will come upon this small building. It's called a pop architectural land art project by the artist Elm Green and Dragset. Continuing down the same highway, I happened upon this scene and had to stop. It's a homage to the movie Giant, where the ranch scenes were filmed. Produced in 1956, the movie starred Rock Hudson, Elizabeth Taylor, and James Dean. Dean died in a car crash before the movie was released. This is a radar blimp designed to search for low-flying aircraft used to smuggle contraband across the border. It is attached to a steel tether. After 480 miles, I finally reached my destination of the city of Alpine, Texas.